Hello everyone, it's Schmitty300, the Pure Gamer, back from obscurity, back on the channel with a new game and a new series. But let's get everyone caught up to date here. So it has been just over 3 years since my last upload. August 26th, 2020 was the last one. Golftopia Episode 2, a game I had hoped so much that I could have continued and finished a course at least, but never happened. So I'm going to do a little bit of a intro with a few talking points I've got written down, just to get us all up to date and on the same page. So we're back. I want to start a new series. I've been thinking about this for quite some time now, but in the last week or so, more so than before. For those that aren't familiar with the origins of this channel started, gosh, I didn't check the starting date, quite a while ago, and my intention was to try and create a nice neighborhood, a nice area for people to come watch some video games and some commentary, and also kind of just be happy in one place together. I suffer from depression and anxiety and a little undiagnosed ADHD, and that's the three primary reasons why any series I ever started before never stuck. I have problems with jumping from game to game after very brief periods of time. Diving into it, and I've gotten back into StSLib, as you can see by the title screen here, about a week and a half ago or so, and it's kind of stuck. And I thought more and more about doing a series for the channel and kind of having a project to do, because I haven't really had much of a project or any real I don't want to say purpose in my life, but any real project, I guess is the right word for it. Work and sleep and throwing in some recreation here or there is all well and good, but I need something to drive myself, something to inspire myself. And I think back to when I started the channel and the origins of starting the channel, and the original reason was to have something to kind of sink my teeth into, something to motivate me to accomplish things and create things and try and be a little bit creative, maybe spread some knowledge, maybe have a few laughs. And that's what we're here today to try and start again. I'd be delighted if this series could go 700 episodes, but I'd also be delighted if it went 2. So here's hoping that that a combination of a game that I love and a combination of having the time and the equipment and the support to do this carries through and allows us to start anew. So a few notes. I am by no means a professional streamer or professional video maker or editor. This will be pretty raw content. As we progress, it should be nice if I could look into video editing and maybe get some catch up with the times. I'm using very modern software and modern recording equipment, so that's a start. But as far as actual video editing and cutting up clips and that sort of thing, not really my forte at this point. But yeah, that kind of covers the non-game related updates. Yeah, so let's talk about the title screen we see here. So those that aren't familiar, this is called StSLib Spire. This is a deck building roguelike game. This series I'm hoping is going to be a combination of 3 different things. It's going to be a walkthrough. I'm going to show you how to play it and show you some basic strategy, hopefully. general gameplay footage covered with, hopefully a few witty comments here or there. And also, there's a lot about this game I haven't discovered yet, and it'd be nice to discover that with an audience of sorts. I have well over 1,000 hours of gameplay on this on PC, Android, and on the Nintendo Switch. On Android and the Switch, we have just the base game, and that will lead me into the next talking point about this. Is I have added a lot of content to this version of the game. So this is not just the base game of Slay the Spire. There's, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, there's 18 mods added onto these. What are mods? Good question. Mods are an amazing and truly wonderful addition to all kinds of games across all kinds of platforms, mostly PC, but it's fans of the game that code and write their own content for the game, and with the complete and full permission of the developers of the game, they upload this content onto Steam, and the game is written by the developers in a way that they can incorporate this content into the game to, in some cases of other games, create virtually an entirely new game. In this case, this is just an add-on of content. There's new characters, there's new cards, there's new items. There's a few quality of life improvements, a few improvements on the user interface, that kind of thing. I will have a list of the mods that I have activated in the description below for those that are curious or want to try these ones. Info on what I've done in this game. So there are 3 characters in the base game. Sorry, 4 characters now in the base game. I have beaten the hardest difficulty and the final boss on only one of them. I'll get into that a bit later on. I've made it relatively far with all 3 of the original base characters. I haven't really played much of the 4th one. The mechanics of that character didn't really appeal to me at the time, but it's the kind of thing I'd like to explore and discover, maybe with a few viewers here. So we'll hopefully get into that down the road. I do not claim to be an expert on this game. I've played it a lot, so I know a lot about it. I don't claim to be a strategic expert. I don't claim to know all the best deck builds. I don't claim to always make the right moves, but I do really enjoy it. This is a genre of game that I really, really like. I have quite a few of them on my phone. I have a couple of them in my actual physical board game collection. And this one is basically the granddaddy of them all. This is the one that it has it's inspired an entire genre of game. And sometimes the game that inspires a genre often can go by the wayside and kind of gets improved upon. No one's done better than this, in my opinion. I haven't played all of the deck builders that are out there, but of the ones I've seen and played and watched played, this is the best one. It's got something like 98% positive reviews on Steam. It's got a 10 out of 10 rating on the Steam website. I think the lowest rating I've ever seen for this game is a 9.4 out of 10. And I'm sure that was some pretty harsh criticism. So saying this game is a masterpiece, I don't think is a stretch. So this is Slay the Spire. That's a 9-minute intro, so hopefully if you're still around, cool. And I'm going to do my best. That's the end of my script, FYI. Everything else is going to be off the cuff. We'll get into... I think maybe I might just jump in to a game and just show you from the get-go. So there's the standard game, then there's a daily climb, which the developers release kind of wonky modifiers to the game every day for a different unique challenge to climb the spire and slay the spire. And then you can also make a custom game with your own characters, or with a character you want, and then there's a whole bunch of different modifiers that are inspired by the daily events. I very rarely do these. I just like playing the base game and just getting a nice what's the brain chemical for joy? Serotonin. Nice serotonin boost when you get a nice good card combination and a really nice a deck that just gels well together, and you'll get the idea. So here are the 4 base characters. So there's the Ironclad, which is kind of the warrior. There's a starting HP bonus. There's gold in this game. And every class has their own innate class ability. There's the Silent, which is kind of the rogue, poison damage, mini daggers kind of thing. There's the Defect, which is my favorite base game character. This is the one I've done. I think I've done Ascension. Ascension is the difficulty level. I've done Ascension 20, which is the hardest one. I think it's on my phone, actually. I never got to 20 on the computer. And this is the one I've also beaten the final boss with. There's the Watcher, which is kind of the monk. Definitely a very interesting character, but one I just never really got into. Maybe we'll get there together. There are... How many other classes do I have? I have 8 other classes that I've as part of the mods, but we won't get into that until a bit later. So I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really enjoy the Ironclad that much. I don't play it very often. What's my highest ascension? Yeah, see, I've only got ascension level 4 unlocked for this character. So I think I'm going to start with a Silent just to... I like to play a character that I enjoy on the first episode, so let's go with that. So yeah, here we go. So this is his first this is a starting artifact, or starting relic as they call it. At the start of each combat, you draw 2 additional cards. So you draw a hand of 5 cards every turn, but on this character's first turn of combat, you actually draw 7. So here we go. So this is the starting screen. I don't claim to know what this is. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of holes in my general knowledge of the game, so you'll have to forgive me. So here's the name. So here's my username. There's my health. There's my money pouch. Shows how much gold I have. You get potions throughout your game. These are part of one of the mods that I have. They're basically a bonus kind of currency that you can buy at like a black market kind of shop with very unique cards, and we'll probably get into that a little more. So here's the map. So StSLib Spire is a game that consists of 4 acts, 3 main acts, and 4 you have to unlock if you want to go after the true final boss. As you can see in the legend there, all these different rooms have different functions. Little monster face are just basic combat. The question mark are usually events. They can be any of these except elites, I'm pretty sure. Elite combat is a very select, very finite pool of enemies that are considered to be elite. So when you fight an elite, you generally can guess which one you're probably going to fight. Campfires are for resting and or upgrading cards. You get treasure at these treasure icons. Fancy that. And then the green ones are the shops. So the fact that this map is in color is actually one of the mods that I have. Normally these are all just gray icons. They all have this shape and design, but the mod I have, adds them color. I don't need it. I just think it's fun. It's a small little mod that makes it a little bit easier to discern what it is you're looking at and which direction you want to go. So let's get into our deck. So this is our starting deck. So those that aren't familiar with the deck builder genre, a deck builder genre generally consists of some sort of plot and premise, and a starting deck, which is usually the bare basics of the mechanics of the game. So in this case, you've got 5 cards that are all strikes. You play these, you do 6 damage. You've got 5 cards that are all defends. You play these, you get 5 block. Then there's a couple of unique cards. There's the Survivor. You play this, you gain 8 block / defense. It's called block in this game. And then as a result of playing this card, you must discard a card. If you don't have a card to discard, then you don't have to discard one. And then there's Neutralize, which will do a little bit of damage and applies 1 weak debuff to the enemy. In the top left-hand corner, you will see that a number in green. That's how much energy is required to play the card. You start each round with 3 energy. There are ways to gain more maximum energy, and there are sometimes you can also upgrade cards so that some of them, when you upgrade them, will cost less. But this game is like an energy management kind of thing, and we'll get into the strategy and energy management real quick, I promise. So a deck builder is, as the game progresses, after you fight a monster, you will be rewarded with a choice of 3 cards. There's a select pool of cards for each class. I don't know how many cards are in each pool. I think it's around like 30, something like that. I wish I did a bit more research for this, but I was in the mood and I wanted to start a video, so here we are. It's quite a few though, and they're all unique, and they all have different energy costs, they all have different skills, and we're going to see a whole bunch of them. I think that's about covers the basics. There are 3 different kinds of cards. There are attack cards, there are skill cards, and then there are power cards. Attack cards, you can guess. You play the card, attacks the opponent or the monster, whatever. Skill cards sometimes can do damage in certain cases, but usually they're just a skill that will benefit you in some way. Usually, sorry, I shouldn't say usually. They will benefit you in some way, or inflict like a debuff on the monsters to make them weaker or susceptible to more damage, or poison them, or something like that. You'll see a whole bunch more. And then there are powers. Power cards are, you play them once, and they're basically, they give you you or the monsters a lasting effect for the remainder of the battle. What's an example? I can't even give it on the top of my head. Okay, I just thought of one for this character. So this character is the one called Tools of the Trade. That when you play it, as soon as you play it for the rest of the battle, every turn, when you start your turn, you draw an extra card, and then you can discard one. So it kind of gives you a chance to kind of filter through your deck a little bit faster. So you just play it once, and then it's just gone from your deck for the rest of the battle. It comes back to your deck once the battle is over. But again, you're going to see all these in a little bit. So that's our deck. So this guy, again, I don't know who he is. I can't remember. Basically, when you start the game, he offers you a choice of some bonuses to kind of kickstart your run. So the first two are going to have no downside, but usually they're kind of small risks, small reward kind of thing. The third one is going to be kind of a mid-risk, mid-reward, and then the last one is going to be anywhere from small risk, huge reward, or small risk, no reward, to huge risk, huge reward. The last one, you get rid of this artifact here and replace it with one of the relics that you get from defeating the bosses of each stage, which vary in power and usefulness to the nth degree. So this could be a little bit of an information overload, but this is the way it's going to be. So we're going to take a look at the map here, and elite fights, they also will drop an artifact on top of their normal rewards, which is why you want to fight them when you can, but they're also very difficult, and you can easily get killed by one. But what we're going to do is do something I wouldn't normally. I don't like these options very much. Not quite as useful, or at least guaranteed to be useful as they typically can be. These are not always the same 4. You're going to get all different kinds of options just to choose from when you start a game up. This one here, attain a curse and gain maximum 14 hit points. The curse is a card that goes in your deck and is either useless or actually detrimental to you when it's in your hand. But when you go to stores, the green guys here, you can actually pay money to remove them from your deck. What do I want to do here? I might just transform a card. Transform a card, you choose one of your cards in your deck and it just remakes it into a random one from your class. Yeah, I think... I'm probably thinking way too much into this for the first video, so I'm thinking I'm going to kind of go this way. Hit a couple of campfires. I'm not getting a lot of fights either. If you don't fight monsters, you're not guaranteed to acquire new cards. These question marks, you might get cards from them, but it's pretty rare. But you're guaranteed to get new cards from monster fights, so... I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to transform a card. So you pick one of the cards from your deck. If you don't have defends in your deck, you die. So you, generally speaking, if you remove a card or transform a card, strikes are usually your best bet. So I got Eviscerate. I don't like this card very much. So it costs 3 energy. However, it costs 1 less energy for each card you've discarded this turn. So unless I play this card in the same turn, this is going to cost all my energy just to play it. And it does 7 damage 3 times for a total of 21 damage. Not my favorite card of this class. Actually, one I hardly ever take. Okay, we're at 20 minutes now, so let's get going. Okay, so this is a battle. So I draw my hand of 5 cards plus the 2 from my artifact. You'll face anywhere from 1 to, I believe that's 4 enemies all at once. How combat in this game works is you go first every battle. I don't think there's an exception to that rule that I'm aware of. And the monster is going to have his name, his hit points, and then what he looks like, obviously. And then he's going to have his intent above his head. His or her head, excuse me. So when my turn ends, this is what he's going to do to me. He's going to do 11 damage to me. Guaranteed. That's what his intent is. There are some enemies as the game progresses where that can change before your turn ends, but it's pretty rare. Getting dry throat here. But that's what he's going to hit me for 11 damage. So we're going to want to try and change that and or defend it. So first thing I'm going to do is there's my energy there. There's my draw pile. This is my discard pile. And everything else I've already... This is what floor you're on. Everything else I've already shown you. So I'm going to play the Neutralize on this guy, which is going to do 3 damage to him, and also inflict weak, which means he does 25% less damage for a whole turn. So you can see his intent has now changed to 8 damage. Luckily enough for me, Survivor here is going to actually give me 8 block. So I'm going to play that, and then I have to discard a card as a result. So I'll discard that one. So I now have 8 block. He's doing 8 damage. I'm not taking any damage at all for this turn, no matter what. Well, at this point anyway. So I'm not taking any more damage. I've got 2 energy left. I'm going to play my other 2 strikes. Do damage to him. The yellow one here just gives you the total damage you just did. And I'm out of energy. I'm going to end my turn. So he's going to do his 8 damage. It's all blocked. So the weakness where it wore off, it only lasted for 1 turn. And now we're back to square one, or back to my turn again. So this time his intent is going to do 7 damage, but he's also going to add some block to himself at the start of his turn. So I don't want to take any damage, so I'm going to play both my defense for a total of 10 block. So I'm not taking any more damage here, and I can't play this because I spent too much energy. So I'm going to play one of my strikes, and I'm going to hit end. Alright, now, this sucks. So if I want to take the full 11 damage and do 21 damage to him, I can play this. Or I can play any one of my defense. So I don't want to play this because I got a bunch of offense coming next turn. So I'm just going to play 3 defense and call it a turn. Okay, he's back to doing 7 damage and more shield. So let's weaken him. Probably change this to 5. I'm right. Awesome. So I'll play a block, and then I'll play 2 more strikes. Looking good. Not taking any damage yet. So this time, he's going to increase his block, and also going to buff himself, which in this case I happen to know is going to be increase his strength. But lucky for us, he has 7 health and 5 block, which is a total of 12. I need to do 12 damage to him. That's super easy. Done. All right. Oh boy. So one of the mods I've added is the potion mod, which adds a whole bunch of new potions, like dozens and dozens of new potions that I've never seen before. So this is the part of the video where we're going to be discovering new things together. So I get 11 gold for this. I get to pick up this potion, which gives me 6 malleable and a blur. I'll explain what those do in just a second. So then I get to add a card. So this are the 3 cards that I have the option of taking. So let's go over them. So Poison Stab, I'll do 6 damage, just like a regular strike card would do. However, I could also get to apply a 3 poison for this. Poison is an amazing mechanic in this game. Whatever level of poison is on the enemy, at the end... Let me get this right here. At the beginning of the monster's turn, they will take whatever damage is equal to the number of poison stacks that are on it. So in this case, if I hit a monster with this, on the start of his turn, he'll take 3 poison. That poison counter then goes down to 2. At the start of his next turn, he'll take the 2 damage, goes down to 1. At the start of his next turn, he'll take 1 damage, and the poison goes away. You get the idea. But if I play the poison stab over and over again, the poison obviously does stack. So if he's got 10 poison on him, he'll take 10 damage at the start of his turn, and the poison goes down to 9, etc. I think I've explained it plenty enough. So poison stab is fun. Cloak and Dagger, you play this, you gain 6 block, and then you also get to add a shiv to your hand, which is a little mini dagger, which does 4 damage, and then it exhausts. When the card exhausts, it leaves your deck for the rest of battle. In the case of a shiv, it's a temporary card, basically, and so it leaves your hand for the rest of battle and also the rest of the game. When you have a permanent card that has exhaust on it, then it just goes into the exhaust pile, and then it rejoins your deck after the battle's over. And there's Tactician. You can't play this card, but if you discard it from your hand, you gain an energy. So if we play this at the same time we play our Survivor card, we discard a card, we gain an energy back, which can be pretty useful if we're trying to make that Eviscerate card useful. I don't think I've ever actually seriously tried to make an Eviscerate card effective in any time I've used this character. And I'm not going to start now. We'll start with things that I'm familiar with, things that I know. So I'm going to take a poison stab. Sounds like fun. And we'll proceed. So that's the first one complete. The snake potion, snake TM potion. So malleable is a condition, a good one, that how does it actually work? I know what it does, but I'm not entirely sure of the math behind it. When alright, I already sound kind of stupid. When I fight an enemy that has malleable, when you hit it without any block, it instantly puts block up as a result of you hitting it. With 6 malleable, I think if something hits me, I immediately get 6 block, and I think it goes up from there. I think if he breaks that block and hits me again, I'll get 7 block as soon as he reduces my hit points by any. Anyway, I think it's something like that. And blur means that when you at the end of your turn, you don't lose any unused block. It carries over to your next turn, which is very useful. Okay, I am talking way more than I usually do, so bear with me. Okay, so we're going to go to the question mark and maybe get an event here. Okay, so this is an event from the Forsaken mod I've added here. So you come across a strange person standing before several sick and dying plague victims. He turns to you and offers a strange mask. You can either take a special relic and a curse or refuse it. I've only taken this once and I didn't like it. I believe it's something along the lines of you start poisoned, but you also cause poison in your enemies. I just don't like it, so I'm not going to bother. Okay, let's fight some more guys. Okay, so we've got a couple of louses here. So this curl up ability here, as soon as it takes its first bit of damage, it'll instantly put up 6 block. This is not the same as the malleable skill. It's a bit different. Okay, so I am gonna injure him. So you can instantly saw that I hurt him, so then you put block up right away. But then this little icon went away, so it won't happen again. I don't want to take any damage, so I'm gonna block. I'm gonna play my Survivor, and I'm gonna throw away a strike. But you see now that my Eviscerate has now gone down to 2 because I discarded a card. So what I'm gonna do is I can do 21 damage with this, and I've got 8 blocks. So if I kill one of these guys, then whatever damage is left will be easily taken care of by my 8 block. So which of these guys is going to be the hardest to deal with? Let's just play Eviscerate on this guy. He is dead. And now I'm only taking 4 damage, therefore 0 HP will be lost, and everyone's happy. And I need to do 12 damage to this guy, or at least 11 damage, sorry. And here's 12, and we're done. Alright, so you don't always get potions with rewards from fights. You do sometimes, but not always. A little bit of gold. Let's see what we get next. So 3 skills here. So they're prepared. I don't have to describe that to you. It's pretty straightforward. You draw a card, you discard one. Outmaneuver. You can spend an energy to play this card, and then the next turn you're going to get 2 more energy. And then there's Piercing Wail. All enemies lose 6 strength this turn. So we haven't encountered it yet, but there are a number of enemies in this game that do multiple attacks in one turn. Usually for damage in the single digits. Like they'll do 5 damage, but they'll do it 4 times. So 5 times 4. And it'll say 5 times 4 right above their head. So that's 5 attack power / 5 or 5 strength times 4 times. You play the Piercing Wail, it lowers their strength by 6, and all of a sudden their attack now becomes like 0 times 4, therefore doing no damage. It only lasts for 1 turn, but it can really save your butt in some certain situations. So I'm gonna take it. I guess I'll introduce this here now. So this is our quest log. So every run you start off with a quest log, and there's just a bunch of things that you want to do. Sometimes they'll tell, or not sometimes, they will have you pick up certain cards. You get, you can claim a void shard, which again, this is kind of a currency for like the black market of this game, of this mod. So I'll take that. So I just got a little void shard, so a little bit of money, and we will carry on. Next fight. All right, so this guy is a pain in the rear end. This is a cultist. This guy gets stronger literally every single turn. We don't want that at all. So our choices here, we can lower his strength, we play some defense. All he's doing this turn is just increasing his strength. He's not attacking us in any way. So we can either do 12 damage by playing these 2, or we can do 21 by playing this whole card by itself, which we're going to do. Bang, bang, bang. And that's all we can do, so we'll carry on. So he's going to buff himself, does his incantation, his ritual, and now he's 3 strength up. But the ritual is that every turn he's going to go get 3 more strength every single turn. So this is a guy that you do not want to slow play. He will destroy you. He looks kind of unintimidating right now, but you give him, 3, 4, 5 turns, he's going to smack you. So we want to take no damage. So we're going to start with a little weakening. So he's doing 4 damage now. So this will be more than enough. So let's just play that to cancel or to not take any damage. Let's do a poison stab and a regular strike. So you can see in the bar here, he's got 3 poison. So at the beginning of his turn, his life bar is going to go from here down to there, and then this will count down to by 1 at that time. So I'm taking no damage. We'll carry on. All right. So now he's doing 9 damage, but lucky for us, I drew Eviscerate. I'm starting to like this card a little bit, and I'm just going to play it because now we win. Bickety bam, and also you can get void shards occasionally too. So what do we got now? Endless Agony is a free card. You can draw, it deals 4 damage, but whenever you draw this card, you add a copy of it to your hand. Whenever you play it, you exhaust it. We've already seen this guy, and then Sneaky Strike does 12 damage for 2 energy. If you've discarded a card already this turn, you get the 2 energy back, but you have to have the 2 energy in reserve in order to play it first. Excuse me. Again, lots of talking. As an accountant, you don't usually talk this much. At least in my accounting work, anyway. I already have one of these. One of the major overarching strategies of this game is you don't usually want to have too big of a deck. As you want to build a quality deck, but you don't have to wait a long time to get to the good cards. So adding things that are quote-unquote fun isn't always the best winning strategy. It can be fun, but you might not win. So I'm actually... I've only got 1 card that discards anything, and I've already... Yeah, I think I'm going to skip these. Next. Alright, this dude, also a pain in the butt. Okay, so this guy is going to attack me for 7, but also inflict a negative effect on me. Now, when you play this game a lot, you come to know what the effects are going to be. They never tell you directly what they're going to be. I believe in this guy's case, you'd think I would have paid more attention by now. I believe in this guy's case, I think he's going to weaken me. He's going to weaken me, or he's going to frail me. Frail is the same as weak, but for defense. So If I'm frail, this defend will actually only give me 3 block instead of 5. So he's only doing 7 damage. You can't. There are ways to block incoming debuffs or negative effects, but I don't have them yet, so we may get them soon enough. So let's block all the damage that we can block, and then we'll just do a couple of strikes to get him started. So he did weak. So now you'll see that all of my attack cards now have a red number because it's lower than what it should be. So this is kind of a drag. So now we have a decision to make. So I can play this for free, no problem. There's no reason why I can't play this. So he's now doing 5 damage. But here's the thing. Do I want to take the 5 damage and play Eviscerate for 15 damage to him? Because if I play this, I can't play any of my defends. Or do I want to just suck it up and just play a defend or 2, take no damage, and move on? I got Poison Step coming next turn. I don't read a lot of forums about StSLib Spire. I enjoy kind of discovering things on my own. One thing I have read a lot of is that, especially in the higher difficulty levels, if you want to win, if it comes down to it, if you can avoid taking damage, that's your first priority. When you come to know the enemies better, you'll know which ones get a lot stronger really fast and which you don't have time to kind of slow play it like that. But generally speaking, a good strategy is if you can avoid the damage, do it. So we're going to. Alright, now he's doing 12 damage. What a nice guy. So we'll play the Survivor for 8. Discard that. Now we're up to 13, and I'm going to apply 4 damage and 3 poison. You can't weaken poison. You can weaken physical damage, but you can't weaken poison. So we're taking no damage again. Sweet. And then my weakness will be gone next turn. And he's got 26 health. Alright, we're going to be taking our first damage now, it looks like. So I can play this to take 5 less damage and do 12. Which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to block 5 and do 12 damage to him. We'll take 7. Now, can we finish him off? We cannot. By 2 HP. Thankfully, though, we can play this. His strength is down by 6. He was doing 5, and you can't do negative damage, so he's doing 0 damage. So we'll end our turn there. And we just need to have one kind of attack to finish him off next turn, and there it is. Done. Pickle Juice, what are you about? Target enemy always loses 5 strength. Interesting. Cool, okay. Ah, okay. Excuse me. So this is, I believe this is from one of my mods. I think it is. It doesn't say what mod it's from though. Maybe it is. Maybe this is just a new card. I've seen it twice before, once or twice before in the last 2 weeks or so. All unblocked attack damage is converted to poison this turn. Yeah, that's kind of fun. Yeah, let's take that. Let's have some fun with that one. Okay, so now we have a real choice to make. So if I go to the left, I have to fight an elite fight, which is a much harder enemy. We'll do a lot more damage, but also as a result, the result is you get gold, a card choice, and also a new, what's called a relic or an artifact or something that I get to add to this row up here, which has permanent game-lasting effects that don't require cards. Oh, let's do it. All right, so this is the Gremlin Knob. And so this guy sucks. That all the elites suck because they're really hard. The buff he's going to add to himself is that whenever you play a skill after the start of his next turn, he's going to increase in strength. So you need to balance what cards you're playing. I'm just going to straight out play my Eviscerate and do 21 damage to him right away. I might consider playing a potion here to try and mitigate some damage, but let's just carry on. Okay, so there is his Enrage. Whenever you play a skill, he gains 2 strength. So instantly, if I play this, he'll start doing 8 damage instead of 6. And if I play this, he'll be doing 10, etc., etc. We can still weaken him, though. And that strength increase lasts the rest of the fight, which is no fun. All unblocked attack damage this this turn. Yeah, what the hell? Let's have some fun. And then we're going to go nuts and play Survivor 2. So we're taking no damage right now. He's now 4 strength up, which is not good. But he's also got 6 poison on him. And now he's doing 27 damage. Great. Is my first video going to end in a... Ah, it's because he added the vulnerable debuff to me, which is why I'm doing so much damage. It's because I now receive 50% more attack damage, or more damage from attacks that he does to me. Oh... Yeah, I'm going to end my turn. Am I going to lose this early on my first run on the easiest difficulty? Oh, that's going to be embarrassing. It might happen. I think we're good. So I'll do that, and I'll do that. Okay, good. That would have been fun. Oh, awesome. Okay, so Thread and Needle is an amazing, amazing relic. At the start of each combat, you gain 4 plated armor, which basically all it does is whenever you end your turn, this relic will just automatically add 4 defense, 4 block to whatever it is you have, like automatically, which can be life-saving. Gain 5 fire breathing. Okay. So quick slash, 1 energy, deal damage, and draw a card. Setup, you can put a card from your hand on top of your draw pile, and then on the next turn, it costs 0 until it's played. I don't have... Oh, I could do that for Eviscerate. Now that's interesting. You know what? Let's have some fun and do that. That sounds good. So, I'm almost dead, so we need to find a campfire, which is where I can rest. Okay, so here's an event. You walk into a room to find a large hole in the ground. As you approach the hole, an enormous serpent creature appears from within. Hello, hello. What have we got here? Hello, adventurer. I ask a simple question. The most fulfilling of lives is that in which you can buy anything. Do you agree? Well, I can agree. Gain 175 gold and also gain the Doubt Curse into my deck. I can gain Enlightenment and also gain 6 maximum health, but consequently lose all my gold. Or I can ignore and just leave. Where is the nearest store? Sure. So I gain that into my deck, which means that if I am holding this at the end of my turn, I'm going to gain a week for the following turn. Kind of a drag. So I will not fight an elite because I will most certainly die. So go to a campfire, and here are your options when you go to a campfire. You can rest and gain back 30% of your health. In this case, it'd be 21. You can recall, which we'll get into that a bit later. Up here, there are 3 little keys that you have to acquire throughout your game. And by the end of the 3rd stage, if you collected all 3 keys, then you can fight the final boss. We're not doing that today, so we'll never actually do this. Or you can smith. Now, this is something I've only mentioned very briefly so far, but each card you have can be upgraded. So you can have a look at the card itself, and you can also go to view upgrade. So if I upgraded the survivor, I would gain 11 block when I play this instead of just 8. You can upgrade any card. You can upgrade your basic stuff. You go from 6 to 9. Your basic defense go from 5 to 8. And then every unique card can also be upgraded. Neutralize, you can increase it to 4 damage and put 2 weak, which is actually one of the best upgrades early for this class, the Silent, if I'm not mistaken. Eviscerate will do 9 times 3 damage, so 27 damage. Poison Stab goes from 6 and 3 to 8 and 4. Piercing Wail goes to 8 strength lost. I think this gets cheaper. Yep, so I can do this for free on my turn when I draw that card. And I believe this is also the same thing. Yes. So, decision. Oh, I'm not deciding anything. Forget that. I'm resting. What am I doing? Okay. So now we get a treasure. So now we get a free relic. Oh, Frozen Egg is awesome. So whenever you add a power card into your deck, you get to it automatically comes upgraded, which is fabulous. We don't have any powers yet, do we? No, we do not. Awesome, that's a great relic. Okay, so we're gonna go to the next campfire and we're gonna sleep again because we're just got wrecked at that elite fight. Oh, okay. So the question marks, like I said, can be can be anything that's described on the map here, except for an elite. You'll never have a surprise elite on a question mark. But it can be any of these. Sorry, it can't be a rest either. It'll always be one of these 4. And this time we got lucky, and now we have a merchant. Okay, so here's the store. So the merchants will always sell 5 cards of from your class pool. There's also colorless cards, which are neutral and available to all classes when you play. I believe the colorless card pool is about as large as the class card pools. And in a later video, we'll go through all the card pools and we'll have a look at that, but that's not really important. They'll also sell 3 relics. So this is the specimen. So if you kill an enemy that has poison on it, all that poison then transfers to a random enemy, which is very good. We're not quite a poison build yet. I'm not too concerned about paying $300 just to transfer like 2 or 3 poison to a different enemy. That's not a big deal. When you do a deck that focuses on poison and you're fighting multiple enemies and you can transfer 20, 30, 40 poison from one enemy to another, that's where the money's at right there. This is from one of my mods, the Forsaken mod. The first attack played each combat inflicts 1 fear, and I'm pretty sure what fear does is it basically just kind of shuts them down. And that's more of a stun. I think the fear, I believe, changes whatever their intent is to just doing 1 damage. I'm pretty sure, which has saved my butt a number of times. And then the Frozen Eye, whenever you're viewing your draw pile, the cards are now shown in order. So when you're in battle and you look at your draw pile, it's in random order. If you buy this, then it's in order. I don't think I've ever actually bought that in my whole life. Relics also come in different classes, they're more like categories. There's common relics, there's rare relics, there's boss relics. I believe just common and rare show up in treasure chests, like where we found the frozen egg. I believe the frozen eye, like this one here, I believe the frozen eye can only be bought. I don't think I've ever seen this as a reward for an elite fight or in a treasure box, ever, my whole life. Anyway, I don't want that. I think I do want this. So I'm going to get that. So we do have an Eviscerate. I would have liked to have maybe get another card that offers a discard option. And now that I just think about that more, I realized there were a couple of times we had that prepared card where we draw a card and discard a card. And I should have taken one of those back then. It just hit me now. Awesome. I'm going to take a Poison Stab again. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start removing cards from my deck. So like I said before, I'm going to remove the curse for sure, but my intent was I wanted to buy this because it's basically a strike, but like way better. So what I would normally do if I didn't have the curse is I buy the Poison Stab, but then just pay some money to remove a basic strike. So we'll draw these guys more often. But this sucks, so we're going to get rid of this for sure. So it's gone. You can only remove 1 card per shop. And also, the option to remove a card gets more expensive the more often you do it. Okay, he also sells potions as well, but my potions are full. I can't say I'm thrilled about these, but I'm not too focused on them at the moment. We've achieved something here. We picked up 3 attack cards, so we're going to gain 2 void shards. There they are. Okay, I can afford another card. Do I want another card? I think I have another store coming up. Maybe we'll just skip that store and get another card. Do I want Deadly Poison? Let's get Deadly Poison. Okay, we're out of here. So now I got a little bit of health, so now I'm going to upgrade a card, I think. So Deadly Poison goes from 5 to 7. Now, incoming math alert. There's an equation for the total damage the poison will do to a monster. So you take the number of poison you're applying, in this case 5. You add the next number in sequence, so in this case it'd be 6. You take 5 plus 6 and then divide that answer by 2. So you take 5 times 6 is 30, divide by 2 is 15. Over 5 turns, that creature would take 15 poison damage. It takes 5, takes 4, takes 3, takes 2, takes 1. Add all those up, you get 15. If you upgrade to 7, It sends 7 times 8, which is 56, divided by 2, which is 28. So by simply adding 2 poison, you're adding 13 extra damage over 7 rounds. And also the first 3 rounds, you're going to get 7, 6, and 5, which is 18. So 18 damage in 3 rounds for 1 energy. It's pretty good, in my opinion. We're not too defensively oriented at the moment, so I'm actually going to go and upgrade this to get 2 weak. Having a monster being weak for 2 turns in a row is pretty big. That's a pretty big deal. Okay. It's been 50 minutes already. I can't believe it. I'm really enjoying this for those that are interested. I like talking about things that I care about, and thank you for listening. Okay, so now we're taking 16 damage here. So this is the point where you decide, do you take the damage or do you put a block to prevent it? Relics that can be used, this guy is flashing to remind me that the next attack I play is going to inflict a fear. So if I remember correctly, if I just do a strike or a poison stab on this guy, yeah, his attack goes down to 1. Fear, damage reduced to 1 for 1 turn. Well, there we go. I have read that before, but I've only read it a couple times, therefore couldn't remember it. Now we know. That's a very handy relic to have there. So I'm only taking 6 damage. Now I can block all that damage with just 1 card. Bickety bam. And we'll poison this guy. And end our turn. I've also got Thread and Needle, which is giving me extra 4 armor per turn. So you can see at the end of your turn, gain 4 block. Received unblocked attack damage reduces this by 1. So every time I get hit, it reduces this counter by 1, and for every number in the counter, it gives me a block. Okay, so this guy has 1 hit point, but at the start of his turn, he's taking 2 damage. So this damage will never actually happen. So we're happy about that. So we're going to throw all of our offense now at this guy. So he's going to buff himself and give himself some block. So we're taking any damage here at all. So we can end our turn. So poison done. He's dead. He bellows. He gains strength. And here we go. So lucky for I think I've overlooked this card for a long time because it's already been useful. What, half a dozen times already at least, or something like that? So this guy has 15 health and 6 block. That's 21 total damage I need to do. Well, look at that. I'm doing 21 damage to him. Plus, he's also poisoned, so... But he's dead. Yay. More Void Shards. Okay, so I actually was kind of hoping this card would come up, just so I could talk about it. This... In all my time playing as this character and playing this game, I've never been able to use this card. So as you can see, it does 50 damage to all enemies and it costs nothing, but it can only be played if there are no cards in your draw pile. That might not sound like it's too hard to come by, but as soon as you go to draw a card from your pile and there isn't one there, your discard pile shuffles and goes into your draw pile automatically. So sitting with cards in your hand and none in your draw pile is not as easy as it might sound like. I've gotten this card by accident once or twice. I've never been able to use it, I don't think. I never take this card. I've never had the patience to make it work. So we're not going to. However, I did find another discard engine. So I'm going to take the Dagger Throw, and hopefully this can help us play our Eviscerate even more often. What do we got here? We got an alert. Pick up 3 skill cards. So we got 2 more Void Shards. Yay. I might just call this a video after one after one floor. I was thinking I might do the whole playthrough, but it's getting a little late, and my voice isn't going to last too much longer until I get more used to this recording thing. So I think I'll finish this floor, and we'll call it an episode. I'm a little low on money, and so there's not a lot I'll be able to afford here. So let's just go fight a monster. Slime. Acid Slime. So this guy is a unique... They're all unique enemies. I'm not going to say unique enemy every time, I hope. So this guy, as soon as it gets to 50 hit point, or his HP goes to 50% or below, he will change his intent immediately from whatever it is to splitting. So let's say, for example, I do enough damage on this turn to take him down to 30 HP. on his turn, instead of doing damage, he's gonna split into two baby acid slimes, each with 30 HP. Really annoying. And actually, that's what the final boss is of this level, of this stage, is the giant slime, which is this on a much grander scale. So, what can we do here? We can play a weak. So and of course, so I did the Forsaken, which made him do 1 damage. Then I did him weak, which made him do even less. So now it's down to 0. I should have played this first, maybe. Whatever, doesn't really matter. So let's play this. We'll play a poison, and we'll play a strike. Again, I don't claim to be perfect at this game. I make mistakes. It's the way it is. Interesting. So, if I play setup and put Eviscerate on top of my deck, it'll be free next turn. If I do that, I can also take no damage here. So let's have some fun. So I'm gonna play setup, and I'm gonna take Eviscerate and put on top of my deck. Boom. Then I'm gonna play Piercing Wail. He loses 6 strength. He's now doing 7 damage. And then I'm gonna play my Survivor, and now I'm taking no damage, and he's still taking damage from the poison. And now that might have worked out really well, because now this is free. Boom, 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 boom. And I think if my math is right, he's dead. So he won't even have a chance to split, because he's taking this 9 poison damage before his turn begins. So, booyah. All right, another card. Okay. Interesting card. So, Flying Knee does 8 damage, costs 1 energy, and the next turn I gain an energy. Sucker Punch, it's basically a better neutralize, but it costs energy. I believe if I upgrade this, it does 9 damage 2 week. I'm right. And then Bane will deal 7 damage to an enemy, but if it's poison, it does another 7 damage, so it's 14 damage for 1 energy. I intend to have my enemies poisoned quite regularly, so let's take Bane. That's a pretty good card. All right, so now there's always a campfire before every boss of a floor. So generally speaking, you want to have as much HP as possible, because bosses, no matter how often you play this game, they're never really easy. But I think I can probably make do with this deck, with the 51 HP I have, and probably get through this fight okay. If I do think that, what should I upgrade? If I upgrade Bane, it does 10 and 10. That's 20 damage for 1 energy. That's pretty darn good. Eviscerate. Let's upgrade Eviscerate. Let's get some more damage going on here. All right. Slime boss. Okay, so this guy's going to do a whole bunch of crap to us. He is going to... crap. But I fought this guy hundreds of times, and I already forget what he does in his first turn. I believe he's going to throw a bunch of slime cards into our deck, which are just status. So far we've covered... Did I pick up a power card yet? I don't think I have. No, and I have the frozen egg. What is wrong with me? There are 4 kinds of cards we've covered so far. There's attack, skill, power, and curse. There's also status cards, which are just really annoying cards. One of the things he's going to do during this fight is going to put a bunch of slime cards in our deck, which are just simply a card. They don't do anything. Curses you can't really get rid of. Status cards, generally, sometimes you can. So a slime, it's just going to cost 1 energy to play it. It doesn't do anything, but that's how you get rid of it, is you just by playing it. So I believe that one of these, so the pink swivel is the strategic intention, and then the little green swirls there are going to be the negative part. So I can't remember who does more than one thing. We'll have to wait and see. So this guy is gonna split like the other slime was going to at 70 HP. So we want to be careful because we want to split him so that the 2 slimes he splits into have as little HP as possible, because They may be a bit weaker than he is, but they still pack a heavy punch. So we want to be very, very cognizant and very aware of how much HP he has and where he's at on his turn, on our turn. Okay, so let's play this. We drew a strike. We'll discard a defend, and we want to do as much damage as we can right now. So this is going to do 6 plus 3 poison, and this is going to do 14. So we'll call it there. So what's he doing to us? He is throwing some goop. There's the 3 slimes, and that was it. So you can see there's just slimes. So you takes 1 energy, you play it, it exhausts. That's it. But it takes up space in your hand, in your deck, because you only draw 5 cards per turn. So if you draw 3 slimes and 1 defend and a strike, that's going to be a pretty crappy turn. Hey, we got set up and eviscerate again. Let's do that. Booyah. So this is basically telling us that he's thinking. There are a couple of other enemies in the games in this game that does this. He's not doing anything. He's just thinking. Yeah, that's it. So he's thinking about how much he's going to smack us, because he's going to smack us for a lot. 35. Pardon me for 1 sec. Hydrating. Okay. So he's doing 35 damage. Now, we have no defense, so that's a problem. But what we can do is, because of the eviscerate costing us nothing, we can actually get him down below 70 and cause him to split. And that will change this to a whole other intention. And I think that's probably our best bet. If we choose not to, we will take this full damage, and we don't have a lot of HP to spare after that. So we'll hit him with the 27 damage. So now his intentions has changed. Now he's going to split for sure. So if we left him alone right now, he'll take 4 damage at the start of his turn from the poison. He'll have 62 health. He'll turn into two slightly smaller slimes with 62 health each. No picnic. So what we want to do is we want to smack him as hard as we possibly can, so that the slimes that generate are not as strong as possible. So now they're going to be 45 HP apiece. Boom, boom. These are now spike slimes and acid slimes. They're going to cause me weakness and frailty, I do believe. And they also have the split characteristic as well. So this turn kind of sucks. So these are pointless because they're not attacking. So we'll make one of them poison. So instead of doing 6 damage just this one turn, this is going to do 21 damage. My math right? Yep. 6 times 7 is 42, divided by 2 is 21. Or at least it'll do damage until he splits. Okay, so there's our first slime. Sucks. And it costs an energy, which is such a drag. So we want to get rid of one of these guys as fast as possible. So you can see we have weakness and frailty. Bad times. So our damage done is now down, and so is our defense. So we're going to play these for sure. Try and mitigate some damage. Maybe we should play some potions while we're here. Ooh. If I do recall, fire breathing is whenever you draw a status or a curse card, you do 5 damage to all enemies. If we got slimes in the deck, let's do that. Let's see if that works. And we'll attack him. Haha! So we drew a slime. If I'm correct, this will do 5 damage to all enemies. Haha! All right, that was a good call. So I'm taking 5 damage and getting a bunch of debuffs, which is a drag. So he did more frailty, and he added more slimes to my deck. Good news is... So I'm going to split this. So I'm going to... So this will do 18 damage. If I play this on him, this will do 10. Okay, I think I like that better. So this would do 18 damage if I played it on him. He would then lose 4 HP. This way, guy would have one hit point left, and he would split into 2 small slimes of 1 HP each. Or plan B is I can play this, play Bane on this guy to do 10 damage, takes him down to 13. Play the Poison Stab, takes him down to 9 with 7 poison, making him have 2 HP, therefore having 2 small slimes with 2 HP, and then I'll take no damage, and then I can play Setup and make Eviscerate free on my next turn. Let's do that. Bing, bang, boom. Done. So when he splits, the poison goes away, which is a bit of a drag. And I drew a slime, which made the fire breathing activate, so he did 5 damage to everything. And this guy is so screwed. We're just gonna throw all this damage on him. We'll get rid of a slime because we can. 2 slimes with 9 HP. And let's see here. So we'll just do that. Finish. So he's got 1 HP, but he'll die at the start of his turn from the poison. And, well, it doesn't really matter. We've got this in the bag. He can do all the damage he wants to me. And I drew a slime, and I breathed fire on him. Boom! That's floor 1. We did it. So with this mod, after you defeat a boss, you get to add 3 quests to your log. Excuse me. I got the hiccups. And it's these 3. So I pick up 3 more skill cards. That I will get 2 more void shards. I get a whole bunch of gold and a lost piggy bank. Can be thrown in any combat room to gain 125 gold. You couldn't just give me the gold. All right, so here are the that's a new card. So here are the rare cards. So you may or may not have noticed, and I haven't covered this yet, so this is a good time to do so. There are 3 rarity of cards. So the gray borders, or the gray banners, are common. The blue banners are uncommon. And then there's the gold banners, which are rare cards. So these are the cards that you like. This is the card I told you at the very beginning about power cards, tools of the trade. At the start of your turn, draw 1 card and discard 1 card. What is Neurotoxin? I've seen this once before. Apply 1 poison. Each time this card is played, permanently increases poison by 2. Hell yeah, we want that. Each time this card is played, permanently increases poison. Oh my god, yes. So first time we play it does 1 poison. The next time we play it does 3. Next time we play it does 5, etc., etc. We can get this up to like in the teens or 20s of poison for 1 energy. If I do recall, there is an uncommon card for the defect character called Genetic Manipulation? Genetic Code? Something like that. Very much like this, except it's for defense. Apply 1 defense. Each time this card is played, permanently increases defense by 2. Oh, we're definitely taking this. This one here, unload, it's good. Deal 14 damage for 1 energy, but you discard all your non-attack cards from your hand. On the other hand, that would go really well with Eviscerate. If you draw this with Eviscerate, you discard everything else, and Eviscerate can be really cheap and or free. Oh, we're at 1 hour and 8 minutes. I'm already taking too much time. Thank you so much if you've stuck around this long, by the way. Nope, we're going to have some fun. Neurotoxin. Okay, so here is the boss chest. And of course, they're all relics from the mods I have and none of the original ones. Of course. So these are the relics you get that, typically speaking, the ones you're after are ones that give you more maximum energy. My 2 favorite energy relics are what's called Sozu, which you take it, you get an extra energy forever, so you start every combat and every round of combat with 4 energy. However, you can no longer ever collect potions, which is a bit of a drag, but for 4 energy is so incredibly useful. And the other one is called Cursed Key, which, do I have the map here? I do. Which means every time you open a treasure chest that has a relic in it, you will gain a random curse. There are ways to, not around that, but to help mitigate the damage of that, is you can plan your route so that you can go to a store after you get a chest, and you can pay money to remove the curse. Now, the hiccup in that is that this treasure room can also appear on event rooms. So if you go through, I mean, there's a time or two where I've gone to, you know, let's say 5 event rooms in the course of a floor, and 3 of them have been treasure rooms, and I've had the cursed key, and next thing I know, I've got 3 curses in my deck that I do not want or need, and no way to get rid of them. So it's a bit of a kind of a crapshoot as to there's no energy relic in the game that just like, here's a free energy, no drawbacks. There's always a catch for all your energy relics. And in fact, one of them is here. 2 of them are here. So I know what this one is. So gain 1 energy at the start of your turn. Downgrade a random card in your draw pile, hand, or discard pile each turn. So downgrade removes 1 level of upgrade and or any enhance or stasis from a card. So the upgrade mechanic was added in the Runesmith mod, as you can see by the pink lettering there. Upgrade is, or sorry, oh no, enhance is different from upgrade, right? And this one says downgrade. I've never actually taken this and used it seriously before. What's the other one? Severed Torchhead. Gain no energy at the start of each turn. Whenever you play an attack, lose a dexterity for the turn. Whenever you play a skill, lose a strength. Oh god. No, thank you. So we've discussed strength briefly before. Dexterity is the counterpart to strength. If you increase strength, your attack cards do that much more damage. If you have 2 strength, then your strikes that normally do 6 damage will do 8, etc. Dexterity is the same, but it's per block. So if you have 2 dexterity, your block cards or defend cards will now do 7 block instead of 5. I don't like the concept of this one. And then this guy is on an energy relic, but it works with the ability to draw more cards. You draw one fewer card at the start of each turn, but every time you play 2 cards on a single turn, you draw 1. So if you have a lot of cards that cost 0 energy, this can be pretty good to help you get through your deck in good time. I have no idea what I want to do here. I'm going to try the Uranium Anvil. And then you proceed. Then there's Act 2. Well, it has been 1 hour and 12 minutes, and I've had a smile on my face just about the entire time I've done this. So I'm going to wrap it up here, but I definitely am going to do more of this. Definitely going to do more of this. I really, really enjoy this. I enjoyed talking about it. I enjoyed teaching you about this game, and I really hope you enjoyed yourself. If you're here and you're a former viewer from 3 years ago when I had my other videos up, I'm so grateful you've returned. Any new people who have just kind of, there are thousands and thousands of people that play StSLib Spire, both streaming on Twitch and on YouTube. So, but if you happen to stumble across my video and you made it all the way to the end, you have my gratitude. Thank you very much. I look forward to doing this again real soon, and thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care.